of shadows.
Hi my angels, it's Hailey Reese and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am so excited that you guys are here and I hope that you are having an absolutely fantastic morning, afternoon, or night, whatever it is for you when this video finally reaches you. For today's video, you guys, we are going to be reading and reacting to 3 terrifyingly bone-chilling true stalker experiences. Now, if you guys have been on my channel for a while, you guys would know that both myself and my family have had experiences with stalkers, and it's no joke. It can be absolutely terrifying, and one of the most difficult parts when it comes to instances of stalking is how hard it is at times for the law to get involved. I actually remember Tyler and I watched a show all about people who had stalkers, and in a lot of instances, law enforcement wasn't able to do much until it was almost, and in some instances, too late. So today, I thought it would be interesting to dive into 3 different stalking experiences, and I want to hear all of your guys' thoughts and opinions on it, but more importantly, bring awareness to how you really have to be careful and be aware of your surroundings. And while it's so important to see the good in people, it's also very important to follow your gut and your intuition and ultimately keep yourself and those that you love safe. Before we get into today's video though, I would very quickly like to thank Surfshark for not only sponsoring today's video, but for also keeping my online identity safe. You guys know that I'm constantly somebody who's either traveling, or even if I can't travel, I'm going to different locations for work, and with Surfshark VPN, I feel safe online no matter where I am. Now, there are so many amazing ways to use a VPN, such as protecting your online identity, protecting yourself while using public Wi-Fi, also helping you to not get locked out of your banking while traveling, and one of my personal favorites, to change the virtual location of your computer to gain access to shows that may not be available to you based off your location. Another thing that I absolutely love about Surfshark VPN is that not only is it so easy to install, but with just one subscription, you can run it on unlimited devices. And better yet, Surfshark has a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you can try out Surfshark risk-free. You guys can click the link down in my description right now and use my code HaileyReese for 83% off and an extra 3 months free. So make sure you guys click that link down below. As I mentioned, you can test it out risk-free. And thank you so much to Surfshark for making me feel comfortable online and also sponsoring today's video. But without further ado, let's get into these terrifying stalker encounters. A few years ago, just after my 19th birthday, one of the most traumatic weeks of my life was about to take place. My parents were celebrating another year of marriage and decided it would be nice to take a family vacation to the tropics. Initially, it was intended we would all go, meaning my mom, my dad, my sister, and I. But my work was refusing to give me the time off, and I couldn't afford to lose my job, so I decided to stay home by myself. I wasn't scared about this because we lived in a small town. Our house sat on acres of property, and honestly, the house was pretty far out of sight. Because of this, I'd never been afraid to stay home alone at all, and honestly was looking forward to some much needed time alone. The first few days were relatively uneventful. I went to work, came home, made something unhealthy for dinner, watched my favorite shows, but then one night, something started to feel very, very off. I can't explain the feeling other than I literally felt like I was being watched. I'd never felt this way in my house before and had no idea what was making me feel this way. I should mention, half of the main floor of our farmhouse is floor-to-roof windows, and something about the fact it was so dark outside I couldn't see anything at all, along with this feeling, really didn't feel good. I decided to call one of my friends over to spend the night, and once she got there, the feeling went away. I started to tell myself that I'd just scared myself for no reason at all, and I just had to remember everything is A-okay. Everything was not A-okay. A few nights later, I was sitting on the couch when I heard a tapping sound at the back window. I couldn't see outside, so I decided to shut off the lights inside and peer out the window. The same feeling of being watched took over my entire body. I shut the lights off and I slowly moved towards the back window. My stomach sunk and heart was about to beat out of my chest as I saw a man in a hood walking around the side of my house. I immediately grabbed my phone, called the police, and hid in my parents' closet while I waited for police. The police would later catch the man, and after speaking with him, his intentions were made terrifyingly clear. He had been watching me for weeks and overheard me telling someone at work that I had a place to myself for the week. He told the police that one day he decided to follow me home from work and continue to watch through the windows every night that followed. I will never feel the same in my home ever again. I never thought something like this could happen to me. I'm not the type of girl you'd imagine to have a stalker, but turns out there's no real type. Please be very careful with who knows that you're home alone and what you share and who you share and where you share that information with. I still lay awake at night wondering what could have happened if my intuition hadn't kicked in. And that is that particular experience. Okay, so that story gives me so many chills because as she was explaining how the house is, I was visualizing my mom's house. Like my mom's house has tons of windows and a lot of property. So when you are inside with the lights on and you're looking outside, it's like eerily dark. Like you can't see anything, and anybody technically could be outside looking in and watching you. The fact that this person felt it was okay to follow her home and watch her through the windows is deeply disturbing, and I'm so glad that she followed her gut intuition. That is one of those stories that really just further proves how important listening to your gut feeling and the feelings that you're experiencing. I need to know your guys' thoughts on that one. What do you think he was gonna do? Do you think he was gonna just keep watching her, or do you think he was gonna end up doing something? Let me know in the comments below. I had just gotten out of a 3-year relationship and wasn't sure that I was ready to enter the dating scene. Come on, loosen up a little, have a little fun, my best friend Olivia would tell me on the daily. I told her that I was in no way ready for anything serious, and she laughed at the thought that I imagined a guy not wanting something casual. Reluctant, I decided to download a dating app and see what was out there. I was surprised by the options and ended up striking up a conversation with, let's call him Adam. Adam seemed pretty sweet at first. We talked about our love for dogs, scary movies, and popcorn. Random, I know. We talked for hours and eventually graduated to texting. I liked how easy it was to talk to him and how comfortable he made me feel. He complimented me in all the right ways, and I found myself having a little crush on him. So much for casual, I thought. Finally, we decided we were going to meet up, catch a movie, and get some of that movie theater popcorn. The date went really well, and he even ended it with a kiss. That night, I stayed awake for hours, just thinking about the date and Adam. I decided there was no harm in seeing where it went, but I also didn't feel ready for something serious yet. The first red flag I noticed with Adam was his constant need for reassurance. If I was busy or if I didn't answer him fast enough, he would question me. One day in particular, I woke up to Adam asking to take me for dinner that night. I had a really busy work day all day and didn't get back to him right away. As I was getting home from work, Adam was pacing outside of my door. "Do you not want to see me?" he screamed. I was so taken back. We'd only been talking for a few weeks. I explained I was busy and I intended to answer him later, to which he replied, "You can't do that to me. I need you. I need to know you're okay." I reassured him and headed in my house. I couldn't shake the feeling of him having showed up like that, yelling at me. It felt so wrong, too fast. Adam continued to text me apologizing and asking if I would please see him, that he was so sorry. I decided I was gonna go see him, but only because I wanted to tell him that I needed some space. I showed up to a dinner, to flowers and chocolate and a teddy bear. He kept apologizing over and over and over again. I finally broke it to him. I told him that he was a really great guy and I've loved getting to know him, but that I just got out of a serious relationship and I felt this was going way too fast for me. He proceeded to beg me over and over, and I ended up having to leave the restaurant. That night, Adam texted me 56 times. 56 times. with emotions ranging from missing me to anger. He kept repeating and repeating, "How dare you? You need me. You'll see soon. You need me." Need you? I thought. I just met you. Things would get bad. He started harassing me, constantly calling me, nonstop texting. I had to block his number. When he realized that I blocked him, things got even worse. He started showing up outside my house, telling me how much he knows we're meant to be, that he can't live without me. I started getting really deeply disturbing letters to my house and work detailing if we can't be together here on Earth, maybe we shouldn't be on Earth at all. Getting a restraining order against him was so much harder than you could ever think, but eventually his letters and threats got so bad I was terrified for my life. One night he showed up at my house and started screaming. He was angrier than I'd ever seen him. Screaming, "Why don't you want me?" He kicked over my plants and the pots shattered everywhere. One of my neighbors would end up calling the police, which made him even angrier, resulting in him being arrested. The police found a letter that he'd written detailing how I was his soulmate, and if I couldn't realize it in life, maybe he'd have to show me it in death. It's been 2 years since I've heard from Adam, and I still worry that he will somehow find me. It's terrified me from ever wanting to date again. How did this happen so quick? What did I do to make him think like that? I've been in therapy for a few months, but still have had nightmares over his letters and actions. It was seriously a case of a date gone wrong. And that's the end of that experience. That particular experience reminds me a lot of my mom's ex, who would stalk and seriously harass our family. I've done a whole entire video on it. If you guys haven't seen it, I would definitely suggest checking it out, because that was one of the most traumatic things that's ever happened to me and especially my family. And I think with a lot of people, some stalking results in rejection. People, start a relationship or they end a relationship. And when the person isn't getting what they think they're owed out of you or what they want from you, they take to doing whatever they can to get that, if that makes sense. So you have to be really careful when you're starting out a relationship and whatnot of just reading those red flags. And if you feel uncomfortable, the sooner that you cut that off, the better. And talk to people about it. Keep yourself safe. Stay with a friend. Have a friend stay with you, whatever the case is. But I want to know your guys' thoughts and opinions on that also down in the comments below, because that one just really upset me. Because at the end there, when she said she was questioning what did she do to result in this, and it wasn't her. This was, from what I've interpreted from this story, from what I've seen from her side of the story, not her fault at all. You can't apologize to people for setting boundaries for yourself. You don't owe anybody anything. You don't owe anybody a relationship. You don't owe anybody to get physical with them. You don't owe anybody any part of you that you don't want to give. Just remember that. I've never been someone who has fit in with the crowd. Growing up, I was always attracted to what would appear to others as the opposite of what's trendy. I've found that our clothes, hair, and accessories are a way to express our inner selves, and boy do I have fun doing that. I've always been someone who enjoys her own company. I could sit in my room and listen to my music, drawing in my notebook, and getting lost in my thoughts for hours. So when my mom told me that her friend's daughter would be coming to stay with us for a few weeks, I initially wasn't too pleased. "She's around your age, and I think you'll really like her." I remember my mom telling me, "I'm sure you'll really like her." I was reluctant, but I knew I didn't have much choice or say in the matter, so the following week in walked blonde-haired, bubbly Janice, looking like a walking Hollister ad. Literally. At first, Janice seemed really nice. We didn't have much in common, but Janice seemed okay. She was especially interested in my many band tees and the pink stripes in my black hair. She always made sure to ask about it at some point during the day. Like, "Why do you like this band?" Or "What made you color your hair like this? Have you ever had your hair any other colors?" As days went on though, Janice would get more and more clingy, I guess you could say. It wasn't like I didn't like being around her, but she wasn't giving me much space and constantly inserted herself into my every move. But my mom continued to remind me how it wasn't forever and I should just really be nice to Janice. One day, Janice was downstairs eating. As I walked past the guest room that she'd been staying in, I saw something strange on the nightstand next to Janice's current bed. As I got closer, I realized it was a clump of what looked to be my hair. Confused, I went to the bathroom where I realized she'd taken my hair out of my brush and clearly brought it into her room with her. I was very confused, so I decided to just ask Janice. At first, she seemed shocked that I'd seen it, but then told me she was just trying to be nice and clean out my brush for me, but must have forgotten to throw it out. I found that to be very weird, but decided to just move on from it. A day or two later, I would catch Janice in my room smelling my dirty laundry. Disgusted, I asked her what she was doing, and she decided to tell me she just was trying to tell what perfume I was wearing because it was beautiful. Again, I was confused, but I told her I didn't wear perfume. What she was probably smelling was my essential oils. Janice just walked out of the room awkwardly, and I was left to stand there, my mind going a million miles. It wouldn't be long till Janice had her own essential oils. One day, after emerging from my room though, I would see the most bizarre thing. Janice with black hair and pink stripes wearing one of my band tees. "Your mom said I could borrow your shirt. I hope you don't mind." I didn't even have the words to respond. At this point, it wasn't even the shirt that had caught my attention, it was the hair. She had completely changed her look to be as close to mine as she could. I immediately went to tell my mom how disturbing this was to me, to which I was met with the typical "you should be flattered" response. I explained that stealing someone's hair from their brush, then stealing someone's hairstyle, and then also smelling their dirty clothes wasn't flattering. It was creepy. Time went on and eventually Janice returned home, but something about it always felt very creepy to me. I would never see Janice again though. Years later at family Christmas, my mom and I got to talking about the time Janice had stayed with us. That's when my mom admitted something to me she'd not yet told me. She told me there was a reason I'd never seen Janice again, that Janice's mom reached out to mine after saying Janice had what appeared to be a creepy obsession with me. Her mom had found my hair in a bag labeled as my hair. She also found a t-shirt of mine with the hair and even a fork that she claimed I had used. Her mom told my mom that all she talked about was me and that she felt it would be best for us to stay apart until Janice got through her apparent identity crisis. My mom was so disturbed by what she had told me, she cut ties with that family altogether and hasn't spoken to them since. To this day, we wonder whatever happened to Janice and what she was thinking. But man, it freaks me out, even still. And that is that story. You know, this one's interesting because I feel like you guys are going to be split in the comment section. I feel like half of you are going to say that it's flattering, that clearly Janice looked up to her, that Janice wanted to be just like her. But then I think about the fork and the hair, and that's not wanting to be like somebody, that's wanting to have parts of somebody. Like, I just can't picture someone taking someone's clumped hair out of their hairbrush, putting it in a Ziploc bag, labeling it their hair, and keeping it, without that being beyond them having or them looking up to you. This one left me with so many questions, and I almost wish they would have reached back out to Janice. Like, did Janice change her hair back? Did she find someone else she wanted to be like? Does Janice still have her hair? What the heck is she doing with the hair and the fork? Please let me know your guys' thoughts, opinions, and theories on this because I don't know what to make of this one, truly. Comment your thoughts down below, and I'll be reading through all of them. Well, you guys, that is it for today's video. As I mentioned throughout this entire video, I would absolutely love it if you guys would comment all of your thoughts, experiences, and opinions down below. Once again, I would just love to thank Surfshark for sponsoring today's video. As I mentioned, you guys can click the link down in my description and use my code HaileyReese for 83% off and an extra 3 months free. So thank you so much to Surfshark. If you guys are new to my channel or you are just not yet subscribed but you do enjoy my content, I would seriously love it if you would go ahead and click that subscribe button, and please give this video a big thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Remember, my loves, to do all things with kindness. And until next time, I love you.